This is the next lesson. We're going to talk about goals. Roll my sleeves for this one. Okay, so you've done sort of the word brain dump, where you've kind of figured out your attributes, or you figured out the value you're going to offer your customers. You figured out the tone of voice you want to take, and then you've also profiled your customer, who's the specific audience member that you're trying to target. Now let's go into goals. This I think is really important, and this is going to kind of tie in with the first lesson about the value that you offer. With goals and milestones, you want to be a little careful with this. Most people would say, oh, what's your goal with your personal brand? Like, oh, I want to get 5,000 followers, or I want to get 1 million YouTube subscribers. I would be careful a little bit about that, and I'll talk about why those are some pitfalls to kind of avoid. Let's start with the first exercise for goals, and that would be sort of a 10-year plan. This is very broad. You're going to think about what you want to do in the next 10 years, or over the course of the next 10 years. What do you want to have achieved? I don't want this lesson to sound like I'm kind of like personal life coaching you, but I think a lot of people skip over this. They just want to go straight to like making the brand or making content or making a website. Let's kind of, this section I want to kind of marinate in a little bit, the goals and philosophies. This is going to give you true purpose for this endeavor. If you have a goal, if you have something that you're looking forward to, if you have a milestone you're trying to hit, then when you're kind of down in the dumps, or you're having a bad day, or you're not ready to make content, you don't feel like making content, or you're just, maybe you think you're struggling, or like you're in a you're going to think about that goal, you're going to hit that main goal, and you're just going to keep striving for those milestones. You've got the 10-year goal. Now let's go obviously let's do a 5-year goal. So write down sort of a 5-year goal, what you want to achieve with this brand, what you hope this personal brand will kind of bring forth in the next 5 years, and then finally, what do you want to achieve this year? So the next 12 months, maybe you're watching this and it's like New Year's, you could do sort of like New Year's resolution with it. But if you're watching this in the middle of the year, or it's May or November or whatever, what do you want to achieve over the next 12 months with this personal brand? I would imagine it's like just getting started, or getting the path going, or set up an infrastructure with your personal brand. When I'm working with clients and we're doing strategy work, these are called what I would call future states. So you think about if everything went perfect, if you had major success, what would it look like in a year? What would it look like in 3 years? And I use this question from Dan Sullivan. If we were having this discussion 3 years from today, and you're looking back over those 3 years, what has happened in your life, both personally and professionally, for you to feel happy with your progress? I think the key word in this question is progress. It's not so much you're hitting the destination. It's not so much like I achieved this goal. It's the progress that you've made from where you are now, day one, all the way to 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 1 year from now. Kind of last thoughts on goals, and I said at the beginning about, I want 5,000 Instagram followers, I want 1 million YouTube subscribers. This is where, not that I'm like pessimistic about goals, but and I'll give you kind of a personal story with me with achieving some goals. But goals should not be the main focus. I would more focus on milestones. So a goal is what I think when I hear a goal, I think of like it's the end of the road, it's the destination, it's the top of the mountain, and once you've achieved it, that's it. You get to the top of the mountain and you look around, and there are no other mountains, and you feel like crap because, you should feel great. You should I hit this goal, I achieved it, and then you just realize like there's no other goals left to achieve, or like now you're kind of struggling, or you have this like existential crisis, like I need a goal, I need to figure out what I'm doing with my life. So that's why I'm kind of a little hesitant about goals. My personal story about goals was with YouTube. I was trying to, it was all about, when I was younger, it was all about like hitting YouTube subscriber numbers. Like, all right, got to get 500 YouTube subscribers, get 1,000 YouTube subscribers. All right, and then I finally achieved 1,000 YouTube subscribers. If you're under 1,000 YouTube subscribers and you hit 1,000, it feels like a big deal. And it was like, yes, hit 1,000. And then the next day, nothing really happened. It didn't feel any different. It didn't act any different. No one treated me differently. So then I was like, all right, I'll set the goal for 5,000. So I worked hard, kept creating content, kept making YouTube videos, and I hit 5,000 YouTube subscribers. And again, nothing happened, didn't feel any different, no one treated me any different. I thought it was just going to be like this big moment, like yes. So like if you're thinking about becoming an influencer and you're trying to hit 10,000 Instagram followers, just know that it's not going to be the moment you think it's going to be. It's not going to be this like big shining achievement. Like there's no celebration. I mean, you of course celebrate the wins and celebrate celebrate hitting those milestones and hitting those goals, but just know that those goals that you make may be a little empty if you're kind of just centering it around numbers or YouTube subscribers or followers. And again, I'm not trying to sound pessimistic. I'm not trying to sound jaded in any way, but I want you to kind of go in with this with open eyes that your personal brand isn't so much about, or it shouldn't be about the number of followers you have or the YouTube subscribers. These kind of very like shallow KPIs, these like very, like think bigger. And that's why I kind of switch it from goals to milestones, that if you know your 10-year goal, you know your 5-year goal, you know your 1-year goal, then those are very far off, and maybe you might not even reach those. And then in between where you are now and the goals, you set milestones. Let's say you want to reach 1 million YouTube subscribers let's humor that. Then your milestone should be, okay, by this time I should hit 10,000 subscribers. By this time I should hit 25,000. By this time I should hit 50,000. And that, making those little small goals so that when you hit it, you kind of pass through, think like a little like racing video game, like as you pass through that one milestone, you get a little boost, get a little momentum, you hit the boost, and you just kind of go through and you just keep going. Yeah, so I'd say, like, to wrap it up, like when planning goals, think of a direction rather than a destination. Like aim your efforts and motivation towards an object, but don't expect to ever hit that object. So this ends our lesson. Let's move on now to visual design.